They called me a guide, a master of minutes, the heart of the factory floor. My hands, cold and precise, dictated every bell, every shift, every moment of a man's day. But I am not a keeper of time. I am a witness to the unmaking, to the silent, grinding tragedy that a clock can never truly forget. I am the foreman's watch, and my hands are frozen on the moment silence arrived. I was not born in a jeweler's shop, but in the heat of a foundry. My silver gleamed with a promise of purpose. I was made for Arthur, the foreman of the great textile mill. To him, I was not just a watch. I was authority. With a snap of my case, he controlled the lives of 100 men. My tick was the rhythm of their day, a constant reminder of the relentless march of time. I hung from his vest, swinging with every stride he took across the dusty, humming factory floor. He was a good man, Arthur. He saw the faces, not just the numbers. He knew their aches and their pains, but his compassion was a luxury the factory couldn't afford. The mill demanded precision. It demanded speed, and it demanded my constant, unyielding tick. My hands moved forward, always forward. The men worked, always worked. The machines turned, always turned. To me, it was a symphony of labor, a beautiful, relentless, and terrible ballet of progress. But progress, as I would soon learn, has a price, and it is paid in flesh, not silver. The men grew tired. Their movements, once sharp and purposeful, became slow and clumsy. They coughed from the dust, their hands raw from the heavy work. Arthur would look at them, his eyes filled with a helpless pity, but he would not stop me. My tick was his command. I was a silent master, and they were my slaves. Then came the whispers. The men spoke of a machine, the great loom, that was demanding more than just time. It was an old machine, a hulking beast of iron and steam. It had a reputation. Men who worked on it often had accidents, fingers lost, limbs crushed, lives ended. The men feared it. Arthur feared it, too. He tried to have it replaced, but the owners refused. The machine was too efficient, too fast, too profitable. One young boy, Samuel, worked on it. He was new, eager to prove himself. He would polish my silver when Arthur wasn't looking, a small act of reverence. I could see the light in his eyes, a naive hope for a better future. I wanted to warn him. I wanted to stop my hands from moving. But a watch cannot feel compassion. A watch can only count. My hands moved relentlessly forward, and then, at exactly 2:47 p.m., my world stopped. The scream was swallowed by the mill's roar, but it was a scream that would never fade from my memory. The great loom, that hungry iron beast, had taken Samuel. I felt the jolt, the sudden silence, the absence of a life. Arthur, his face a mask of horror, rushed to the machine. He tried to pull the boy free, but it was too late. The machine, a silent accomplice, had done its work. The men stood in stunned silence. The machines, however, did not. They kept on turning, their gears grinding, their looms weaving, oblivious to the tragedy they had just witnessed. Arthur looked at me, his eyes full of a terrible guilt. He had trusted me, a simple tool of time, to guide him. But I had failed him. I had counted the seconds that led to a boy's death. He took me off his vest, his hands trembling. He looked at my hands, frozen at 2:47 p.m. He didn't win me. He didn't fix me. He just held me, a heavy, cold weight in his hands, a constant reminder of what had been lost. I could feel his shame, his grief, his silent rage at a system that valued profit over a human life. And then he did the one thing that a machine-like man would never do. He buried me. I was buried, not in a grave, but in the earth, beneath the foundation of the very factory that had consumed a life. The darkness was absolute. The silence was immense. But even in the silence, I could hear it. The faint, rhythmic beat of the factory, a distant drum of production. I could feel the vibrations of the machines above me, a constant, low rumble that shook the ground. And in the silent darkness, the boy, Samuel, found me. He was a ghost now, a pale, ethereal figure with a sorrowful expression. He didn't speak. He didn't need to. He just sat beside me, his hand resting on my broken glass. He was a part of the factory now, a forgotten soul bound to the machine that had taken him. He was a ghost in the machine, and I was his only companion, a silent witness to his eternal stillness. Years turned into decades. The factory grew, its machines bigger, faster, louder. But in the ground, in the darkness, time had stopped. I was a relic of a different era, a ghost of a past that the world had forgotten. But I remembered Arthur's face, the boy's hope, the roar of the machines, and the silence that followed. I am a watch that no longer counts the hours. I count the screams, I count the lost, and I count the forgotten. I was brought back to life by the roar of bulldozers. The factory, once a testament to human labor, was being demolished. The earth was being turned, its secrets being unearthed. I felt the sudden shock as I was pulled from the ground, my silver tarnished, my glass shattered, my hands still frozen on the hour of a boy's death. The men who found me were young, their faces full of a curious awe. They called me an antique, a treasure. They didn't see the ghost beside me. Samuel was still with me. He was a silent companion, a shadow that clung to my silver case. He followed me as I was cleaned, as I was polished, as my history was documented. He was a ghost in a new world, a world of noise and speed and light, a world that had forgotten the darkness from which it had been built. He watched as they put me in a glass case, a relic of a bygone era, a piece of history. But I wasn't history. I was a witness, a silent storyteller, a keeper of a terrible secret. I watched the people pass by, their faces full of curiosity. They didn't see the ghost that stood beside my case. They didn't hear the silent screams that still echoed in my gears. They didn't feel the cold of a boy's hand on my shattered glass. I was sold. A wealthy collector, a man who saw me as an investment, took me to his home. He put me on his desk, a showpiece for his guests, a relic from the Industrial Revolution, he would say with pride, a silent testament to a world of hard work and progress. He didn't know the truth. He didn't know that my silence was a scream. The ghost of Samuel, the young boy, was with me. He wandered through the collector's house, a silent, lonely presence. He was a ghost in a gilded cage. He saw the luxury, the wealth, the easy lives that his death had helped build. He saw the collector, a man who had benefited from the very system that had consumed him. The collector, a man of logic and reason, noticed the odd things, the cold spots in the room, the faint, mechanical clicks that came from my still case, the feeling of being watched. He tried to have me fixed. A master jeweler, a man who had a reputation for fixing the unfixable, took me. He worked on me for weeks, his hands moving with a delicate precision. He tried to fix my gears, to make my hands move again, but he couldn't. I was not broken. I was a witness, and a witness cannot be fixed. My hands, still frozen, refused to move. The jeweler, a man of logic and reason, returned me to the collector. "It's not broken," he said. "It's unwilling. I am here now, in a dusty box in an attic forgotten." The collector, a man who had everything, died of a heart attack. The house was sold, the contents scattered. I was left behind, a forgotten relic. My silver has tarnished, my glass is shattered, and my hands are still frozen on the hour of a boy's death. But I am not alone. Samuel is still with me. He is a silent shadow, a constant companion. He is a part of me, a memory that has been forged into my brass, into my gears, into my very being. They say time heals all wounds, but my hands are still, and they will always be. I am a watch that no longer counts the minutes, no longer marks the hours. I mark a moment, a single, silent, terrible moment, a moment that was lost to the world, but not to me. I am a silent witness to a machine that valued profit over life, to a system that consumed a boy and then forgot him, to a man who tried to be good but was a slave to a clock. I am not a guide. I am not a treasure. I am a scar, a reminder that some memories cannot be erased, some wounds cannot be healed, some moments cannot be forgotten, and some ghosts, like the boy Samuel, are forever trapped in the gears of a clock. I am the foreman's watch, and as long as there is a machine turning, a system grinding, and a soul forgotten, I will bear witness. Light guides, but not always to salvation. Darkness buries, but not always in silence. Some objects remember when people forget. This was a story not of a machine, but of a witness to a forgotten moment. This was a silent witness story, and there are many more waiting to speak.